Today we're going to be looking at kind of a surprise app that was just released. At least I did not know that Cartographers was going to be turned into a digital app for, I believe it's for both Android and iOS. This is the iOS version. I'm actually playing this on my phone, just so you guys could see how well it even worked in a small format. The iPad version is essentially the same. There is no rotatability on the iPad to like stretch things out, so everything is contained vertical. So right off the bat here you have a few options of doing things, like checking your leaderboards for certain things. You also have these neat little achievements which are fun, and just kind of general history of your high scores, your recent games, things like that. So you see in the middle there's actually 3 start buttons here. Now this one on the far left, the green one, is just kind of the standard way to play. It's going to randomize your explore cards and your score cards. You're basically just kind of playing solo mode, and that is essentially all this app is Cartographers for solo mode. There's no pass and play option or anything like that. I don't think there's an option to link up with someone else so you guys can play at the same time either. At least I haven't discovered it. But what they do have are what are kind of like competition options. And so you can see the yellow one here. The scoring cards remain the same, but then the exploration cards, the cards you're going to get with the Tetris shapes and the specific types of terrain you need to put down, are going to change. But it will at least give you, since the scoring cards are the same, a little bit of ability to see how you rank against other people. Whereas the red one is everything is fixed. So even, believe I read this correctly, the order in which, yes, the sequence of exploration cards remains the same for an entire week. So you can go in and you can play the best of your abilities, and you'll know that you got the exact same cards as someone else on the roster. My only issue with this is that I've been able to go into this multiple times. So essentially, if I was really big on placing myself, say, on this leaderboard here, which you can see Kevlar scored a 66. I don't even know if I'm on this here. I don't think the leaderboards are working properly, but also 66, really? Somebody scored a 66? I have scored maybe like 42, and I feel like that was my best game ever. But what I'm guessing, and I don't know, Kevlar did was go through, play it once, and maybe they took the time to like write down the order of the cards or the most optimal way to place everything. But once you know the sequence of the cards and you know it's going to repeat, you can essentially go back and play it again and get a perfect score, because you can already have worked out. It may take you some time to work out where everything would fit, but you're not going to be surprised by, ooh, that shape doesn't fit, and I just filled in the perfect spot for it with my last shape, so on and so forth, which is what makes Cartographers fun. So I have gone through and I've played the yellow and the red one. If I find out that I have friends who are playing this game as well, maybe I'll say, hey, go in one time and play the red one, or and let's just check our scores, and then it'll have to be a week before we can go in again, because then I feel like it's not fair. But essentially I downloaded this just to have a solo game on my phone or iPad, and it's Cartographers, which is a game I really enjoy, the actual board game. So let's see if this is actually better than the physical game. So I'm going to go into the just regular game mode. Now you heard some music there, and it just kind of stops, and there is no the only way to get it to go away is to either just completely turn it off. I think you can turn off the music and not the sound effects, or you can turn off everything, but there's no like volume adjustment or anything like that. There's no way to keep that music playing in the background. So there are definitely some tweaks I feel like this app, which is in its first iteration, can improve on. The second thing is, right now, if you're looking at this, there's no way to go back to the menu screen, right? I mean, if you're looking at this and you didn't know any better, how do you exit this game? Say you start really poorly and you just want to give up and start over. There's no reset button. There's no back to the main menu button. What you need to do, I can't even get these things to go away here, is actually up here between the Broken Road card and this, your VP count, which right now is 0, kind of between those two 0 stars. If you swipe from the edge of your screen left, there you go. So let's go back in here again. Oh, let me show you here in the main menu. These are your only options for adjusting the sound. I feel like in today's day and age, there needs to be a settings menu with a slider bar. I mean, come on, people. So what I'm actually going to do is just turn off that music and see if the sound effects keep playing. But then we're going to go back in here. There is no option to continue your most recent game. So if you back out to the menu, you're just done. You can see I've gotten everything brand new again. Okay, so there's the little man. This is how I figured out how to go back to the menu. Somehow I got it so that the scoring cards were smaller. I'm not even sure what I did. I think I clicked up in the ABCD area. But you can see this little running man that's halfway off the screen. And I tried to just click him and he just went away. It wasn't until I think I just randomly swiped that I was able to come back here to this menu. So, big adjustment that's needed for the producers there. So let us continue with just how the game plays in comparison to the actual board game. I'm not going to cover the rules. More than likely, if you're not familiar with Cartographers, you can easily figure it out here. Essentially, you've got your scoring cards here, which give you kind of a general idea of how you want to be placing down your certain terrain. So we have the Golden Canary, which wants us to put farmlands on the, what were those called? The ruins, the ancient ruins, and water next to the ruins. We've got our Stoneside Forest, which is connecting the mountain spaces with trees. We've got Borderlands, and so we're wanting to fill out complete rows or columns. And then we've got Green Gold Plains. This is 3 rotation stars for each cluster that is adjacent to 3 or more different types of terrain. So you want to surround your villages with unique terrain on all sides, and your village can be a single block. So keep that in mind. They don't need to be big. All right, so you can see here we have our exploration cards off to the side. One thing I really do like about the app is that the art from the exploration card is appearing in the background, kind of blown up behind your exploration cards. I really think that's nice because the exploration cards are pretty small, even on the iPad. But all you really need to be able to see is that number, and technically up above you is the season card, and you can see I'm at 1 out of 8 on my count. Other than that, you can click up here on the top, and you can click on, if you click on the current season, it gives you your scoring cards blown up, and then if you click on them again, or that little smaller, I don't know what you want to call that symbol, to lesser minus symbols, they kind of shrink back down. I like seeing the art personally. Also, this is going to give you a kind of live count of how many monster points you're going to be losing, your current gold, and it's also going to give you an active count of how you are scoring on these scoring cards, even the ones that it's not their turn yet. So you can see if you're getting ahead for Green Gold Plains or how well you're doing for Borderlands, things like that. I think that's a really nice touch, and you're going to see that come through here. It makes scorekeeping super simple. It takes all the really having to number crunch out of the game entirely. So you can see now down at the bottom of the screen, I have my 2 Tetris shapes that are option. One is going to give me a coin if I use it. I'm only getting 1 terrain option, so you can see if I kind of touch on the 2 different Tetris shapes, this is what the computer is expecting me to lay down. So I'm going to go for the 3 that's going to give me a coin. Now, you would almost think that you should drag your finger on it and drop it to where you want it and maybe rotate it, but no. And the more that's what I was expecting at first, but the more I've played with it now, it makes more sense. Since you can mirror this image, you can rotate it. They didn't want to have to do all that fiddly stuff. So after you've selected your shape, or if it's a single shape and multiple terrain options, you've selected your terrain option, you simply can just touch anywhere in the center. And you'll notice that the page is kind of have these green highlights on it. Well, that's because I can pretty much put this shape anywhere I want. And so since I need to be kind of establishing a nice row, but I also want to connect to my mountain spaces, I'm going to put it right there. And you can see that I clicked once, and now it's showing me where I can fit that shape if I just click 2 more times. So if I click here, I could still go up with it, or I could go down with it. I can unclick that space. If I click here, you can see that it pretty much says, all right, well, the only way you can orient this shape and make it work is that. And now there's a big giant green check mark at the bottom. When I check this, boom, it's in. Now, I will point out there is no undo button or redo button, which makes sense for a game like this, because as soon as you are dealt that new card, you are given information that you wouldn't necessarily have had, and it would be cheating for you to go backwards and redo where your shape is. Which is why I feel like the way they have their competition mode set up, being able to go in multiple times a week and submit your score is, essentially cheating. So, anyways, personally, I think that they would be better off just having an ability to link up to a friend, or to send you do a thing and just say, send a friend, send them this game of mine with my score. And then they can play through it and tell you how they did. But currently as is, I feel like it's just cheating. Anyways, so moving on, you can see that the exploration cards just line up there. They are small, but I don't need to see them. All the information that I need from them is either big enough or is represented somewhere else on the screen, and the art in the background changed, which I think is probably one of the nicest touches on the screen. So let's see here. I actually want to get some length out of my forests. So I'm going to go here and start heading down to connect those mountains there. All right, boom. And you can see this moves pretty quickly. And here we have only one shape I can make, but I can have different types of terrain. So I'm just bouncing back and forth with the terrain. I want to put this terrain right here. So let's just select that. And boom. And we got the mountain. All right. Now you can see that the ruins card came out. And so it's actually telling me my only way to start my shape is to start on a temple space. So the whole entire map is not green. Only the ruins spaces are green. So let's see here. We are currently scoring for trees and farmland. What am I going to get more out of? Probably the trees, because I can get 6 points from the trees. So I can put this starting here and then go like that, and we're good. So I had to start on the space. I tried to start directly below, and it just wasn't working. But you can see dynamically, I'm scoring 3 points right now if the round ended for the Golden Canary, and I'm scoring 6 points for Stoneside Forest. If I can make a full row or column here, you'll see Borderlands jump up, or if I can surround my one little area with something, which I may do right now. So let's go ahead and just give us some more. I want to be able to, yeah. Oh no, because it's on a ruin space. I'm just sitting here trying to put this anywhere, and it's not working. So I'm actually going to go ahead and score this point right here. All right, see we're at 7 out of 8. And again, I always feel like when I play the Golden Canary, I cover up a lot of these ruin spaces because a lot of times they're so close to the mountains. And then by the end of the game, I'm doing that single wild tile a lot. But, so, let's see here. I know I'm going to get at least one more card. Using this up against the my housing spaces is not going to work. So the best thing I have going for me is to simply put this on a ruin space. Where do I want to put it? Let's stick it up here to get the most points. There we go. All right, and last but not least, we've got some water. Or I can put in another housing. But straight like that. And you can see over here in certain areas that are not green, it's not going to let me put it there because that straight line isn't going to fit. So let's put you right there. I feel like that's a very ominous sound effect. Not really necessary for this game, but c'est la vie. Alright, so you can see that everything's counted up for you automatically. There is no way to speed that up or slow it down, but it's fine. I feel like it lingers a little bit too long for me personally, but other people who may not be familiar with the game may appreciate that it sits there a little bit longer. Alright, so you can also see now that if we go up here and click on B, the summer card, these are the only two things we are scoring, but I like being able to see everything. Alright, so we need to connect some mountain spaces here. So you can see I'm up to now 9 points for Stoneside Forest because I've connected 3 mountains. And I have a Riftlands here. So what I can try and sneak in here is a single house. If I put it right there, I have to bring in something beneath it, but that's okay. So I'm going to put that right there. That is my first enemy, which is nice. You don't have to think about where they're going to go, what corner they fit in. They just automatically stick them there for you. You can also see that I am now scoring -5 because there's 5 spaces not filled around the enemies. And that will dynamically change as I play the game here. So let's just give you an example. Oh no, I think this is more important. I want to try and fill out this row or column. So we're going to do this. All right. Now I'm running out of points. I have not made any complete rows or columns. I would love to stick this up there between the all the enemies, but I want to make sure I am at least scoring some of my points for Borderlands. Gosh, decisions. So I'm actually going to stick this up here. Okay, and I've got an option to stick this one now right here, and so you can see now that my -5 has become -4. All right, and this one I can actually complete. I'm gonna stick that one right there. I like that. As I would have liked, but I didn't get trees enough to make it there. I feel like I'm doing pretty good with Borderlands. I'm completely done with Stoneside Forest now, though. And, okay, so we want to kind of stick water near ruined spaces. And you can see I can't fit this shape anywhere on the north or, the top side or left side of my screen. So where do I want to stick this thing? I definitely want to do water. I'm only going to get points if I put it near a ruin space. So I could do this. There we go. Okay, so I'm actually going to be scoring green gold plains this time. So let's see, where can we stick this guy to get a maximum amount of coverage for him? Right there. Finish off the mountain. Scoring more there. And where do I want to stick you? Again, boop. Scoring more points. Alright. Got ruins. I've only got 2 options of places to stick this. And so it's pretty much telling me you are going to have to attach it to that ruins, which is unfortunate because that's then going to block a ruin space for me to be able to put farmland. So I might as well get the coin out of this and try and go as vertical as possible. Interesting. Let's squeeze you in. I'm doing really good with gold plains right now, and Borderlands actually, because the enemies just helped me out. Alright. Alright, so this is the last thing I'm going to be placing this round. Can I stick this anywhere and get points from it is the question. Yes, I think I can. Squeeze it in right there. It should be 3. Yep, look at that. I think I did pretty good there with Borderlands and green gold. Here. All right. This is probably the best thing that too. Okay. I wish there was a 2x2 box shape you could throw in. Alright, so essentially there is only one spot for me to fit this in. It really doesn't matter because I'm not going to score additional points since it's connected. But you can also see I'm running out of places to put all this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick you up here. Right there. Fifth point, score point. Okay, where can I put you now that would be beneficial? Can I score you anywhere? I don't think so. Although, I could get lucky here. Give me some coins, put some points there. Alright. I think we're just going to put you over here in the corner, reduce that, and last card is going to be this. Where can I put you now to help me out the most? Probably just reducing points right there. Alright, final score is going to be pretty good here. See, I wish I could just click on something and speed this up right now, because I don't need the sound effects. Okay, so 50 is the best score I've ever had, especially just a one-off score, so there you guys got to witness it. Now, what I am not a huge fan of here at this point is, especially for those of you who are familiar with playing the solo version of Cartographers, is that there is a point value, and you can see there the 20 in the star. For Stoneside Forest, it's an 18 in the gray star. For Borderlands, it's 24. And for Green Gold Plains, it's 21. Those point values are based on how difficult it is to score points based on that scoring card. So you can see it's actually pretty easy to score points on Green Gold Plains. So actually, technically, it was just a wash for me to the fact that I scored 21. But it's saying 21 is pretty much the average, so you have to score above 21 to get points. Whereas Borderlands, I got about 6 points from that. Now remember, I scored Green Gold Plains twice, and they're only taking this number off once. So my total score of 133 was then reduced by to 38, 58, 62... 83, which makes sense. But you could see that there was nowhere on there to tell me what my kind of score was, and you can see at the top I have reached legendary cartographer status, but that's never going to change. Once you reach the top, you know, it just stays up there. What I'm looking for is there is a kind of mini instruction sheet here. Is this. The resulting final score indicates, so, you know, Apprentice is 0 when you start getting into the negatives, Oblivious, Ink Drinker, things like that. So I would love for this to just appear at the end of each game so I can see, ooh, how close was I to Master Mapsmith if I scored 17 points, for example, and only got Journeyman Topographer. So again, I got to this point by clicking on this little book symbol up at the top. The I symbol just gives you some more games by them, and that's pretty much it. Clicking on the other stuff, you can change it to German. So there you have it. There is my kind of review and playthrough of Cartographers, a Rolle Player Tale, the newest iOS app. Again, I feel like it's very strong. It does exactly what it needs to do in replicating the actual game. There are definitely some tweaks that need to be made, some extra buttons that need to be added, like return to the main menu, maybe even like a continue button. Not that that's that big of a deal. And I really think they need to change the way they have their kind of competition set up here, because essentially being able to go in here and play it multiple times, you're just cheating. The people at the top are probably ones who've played it multiple times in a row now and know what's coming and perfected their score. That's just my opinion, a little advice for the producers of the game. I'd love to have an option where I can send off my game to a friend and say, here, these are the cards I used in the order I used them in. Play it once, see how you did. You can send something back to me. A little challenge back and forth. That would be my wish list item, on top of being able to like adjust the music volume, sound effect volume, things like that. Basic stuff that's kind of almost on any app these days. But there you go. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, I'm trying to do more and more coverage of digital apps. Since it is so hard to get game groups together these days, I feel like digital apps are becoming more and more part of my everyday gaming life. This was Cartographers, Rolle Player Tale. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.